Hey, everybody. Welcome to Making Connections. This is your girl, Allie. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Hope you had a great weekend. Can y'all believe it? We're at the end of another month, but to God be the glory that we're still here, right? And so, you saw all the flyers going through. If you didn't catch something, you can come back for the replay. We know Queen City Awards, they're doing nominations and things like that. So I'm sure we're going to see JT's name on there, so we have to get ready to vote. And then, I know he's doing some stuff with No Sad Ministries. JT, what's the name of it? No Sad Ministries. So I wanted to tell us a little bit about that as we go on through the show. But welcome back, welcome back. You guys know we're here every Monday at 2 p.m., every Saturday at 12, and every fourth Monday we're here with the amazing James JT Thompson. What's up, my dude?
I'm great. How you doing? Very humble for the intro as I always am. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here every fourth Monday and have the opportunity to inspire. Say that three times fast. It's each and every day is a blessed day to be able to have, and it's great to be on the platform making connections again and have the opportunity to see out and talk to our audience and get the interaction, the things that we get. So it's beautiful. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood, and it's blessed to be in the number.
Yes, they've been missing you because we missed you last month. So we're glad you're back, glad you're back. But we know that life happens, and we know you're not too far away from us.
Yeah, definitely. Life does happen. Life has a way of happening sometimes that you're still spinning because life will have you on the roller coaster, going up and down literally, whether it's emotions, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical. But thank God for the grace and the mercy that we have upon our lives to be able to have that sanity that we all desire, because life sometimes can take you around the world and you feel like you're going round and round. Back to the roller coaster references, you feel like you on something that just won't stop going, and sometimes you can't wait to get to that breaking point so you can just chill and relax. And kind of goes into our subject today, being able to have the break in the monotony, which some of us get the opportunity to do so and some of us don't. And you feel it when you don't. Ali, you know this. When you work, and you stay on the grind, you have multiple things to deal with, whether it be family, whether it be the job, whether it be, the things that you have that we call in this life responsibility.
Yeah.
Those things can come a mile a minute, and you don't even know when you're breathing. It's kind of like when you go to sleep at night and you feel like you just went to sleep and the alarm going on.
Mm,
Is what sometimes life feels like.
true.
But on the other end of it, you also understand that somebody didn't get that wake up call. Somebody didn't make that number. Somebody, got their calling home. So when I think about it like that, another day, another opportunity, another moment to get it right, make it right, do right, treat people right. Um, is how I look at it, because Ali, when we had this opportunity on this platform to reach masses amount of people, and there's some people that won't even know what that feeling is like. And so when I think about things like that, those are the things that keep me grounded, and those are the things that keep me humble.
Mm. See, JT, you always set me up, and I'm like, I gotta follow you. You be saying so much good stuff, but you're right. It's like, and I think people have to realize when they're having those moments, like you say, you get up and you feel like you just went to sleep and you're not rested. You're not, it's hard to focus, and it's sometimes, is your body is telling you, okay, well, I know we laid down, but your mind was still going. You know, you still had things going on. You didn't let go of it before you laid down, so it was still playing out in your sleep. Sometimes mine will come through dreams, and I'll be like, now, why was that person in my dream? But it's like maybe a conflict I had had or something like that. But so it's really what we always talk about, being aware of where you are, being aware of whose you are, being aware of what's going on around you, and when you need to take a break sometimes, because sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to get away, sometimes with family, to restore some and rekindle some, things. Sometimes you have to get along by yourself and just, refuel yourself, because life does push us from day to day to keep going because of those responsibilities, because, just life in general, right?
Yes. And what I come back to sometime, Alex, is this right here. You know, like when we were little, you heard your parents say, "All right, now I'm gonna raise you right. If nothing else, you're gonna get the ground rules of what it takes to be successful in this life." And when I was in the service yesterday, the pastor talked about it. Same way we got that basic training, that basic those fundamentals, respect, morals, um, understanding that it takes hard work to be successful. You got to put it in. You know those things. We got a whole generation that's yearning for that. Like you can't stop pouring in to our youth, because the moment that you hold the cup up and you're not pouring to the glass, there's so many opportunities for that glass to stay empty, for there not to be teachable moments. You have to think about all the moments that we have. Respect is a whole big thing within itself. Coming up and teaching the child, yes sir, no ma'am, please, thank you, you're welcome. Those things will carry you
Thanks.
somewhere in this life, um, that you can't even imagine, because you have the baseline of being able to give respect in order to earn your respect, and vice versa. And I know there are things out here that's corrupt. I know that there's some things, some people that's damaged. We got in every bunch, there's gonna always be a sour apple. What you have to do is understand how to overcome that. Overcome that. You know you a delicious apple. You know you sweet. You know that, you know what I'm saying, what you bring to the table is bread. So you can't let the bad apple affect your goodness.
Right.
Because as soon as we let bad stuff get into our good pores, that's when we are saturated with distractions and things that take us, take our focus. So the one thing that I would want our audience to understand today is never forget your fundamentals. Never forget what we call basic training. Think about everything that's in this life has some kind of training to it. You got to learn how to be equipped with skill set in order to do. Or somebody has to pour something into you, prepare you for your next chapters in life. No different from our very beginnings in this life. We had to learn the call to walk, to take steps in our journey in this life. Those fundamental things don't go away. They are the foundation of what we build off of in order to be able to make the moves that we make in this day and time.
Exactly. And even when you were talking about saying, thank you and excuse me and all that stuff, those things are important. I mean, because, it's a little thing, just like they say, an attitude is a small thing, but it makes a big difference. Just those simple things, saying thank you, reminds you to be grateful, because like you said, there's a lot of opportunities out here that a lot of people don't come across, a lot of people don't see. And and when somebody does something nice for you, it's just nice to say thank you, to remember, I appreciate that. I appreciate you holding this door open, while I was carrying all these packages. There's sometimes, when we're putting my pop in a wheelchair or whatever, and somebody will be like, "Do you need some help?" And just that simple help getting him in and out of the car, they'll be like, "Well, I'll push him in. You just push the button to open the door." I mean, those little things are major, because you don't know what kind of strength it takes to do that on a day-to-day basis. And so when somebody comes along and offers that help, and it's genuine and they're smiling, and because then we've had people on the other side, they like acting like they irritated because they can't get in the door past us or something. You know what I'm saying? So when you see that genuine kindness, it makes a big difference in a person's life, because again, what we always say, you really don't know people's backstory. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they grew up in and through. So, just having those moments, but being able to say thank you and to be able to say, excuse me, oh, I'm sorry. I think it keeps us from those entitlement spirits that are out there.
Yeah,
And so, and people are willing to work with you when they see that you're able to be worked with. You're not just demanding, but you're working together as a team. That's why I think JT and I work, because we work together as a team. Nobody's out here trying to outshine one another. We're just flowing together. And he'll say something that sparks something in me, and I'll say something that does the same for him, and we're just flowing. But with a common, you know, um, desire, and is to inspire and encourage people, right?
that's it. I mean, and there's a natural flow and a natural chemistry that you can't make up. And when it comes from a great space within your spirit, it's going to shine out. And when you put those two elements together, it blossoms into something that you can't even copy it because it's so organic, it's so
Mhm.
authentic that it just speaks from another place. So I was thinking, based off of what you were talking about, think about your faith and how your faith is growing. You know where your faith was, and you know where your faith is today. When you see growth in yourself, isn't it amazing to be able to think about where you came from and
Mhm.
look at where you at now and
Oh
be
yeah.
like, "Well, Lord, I done came a mighty long way." Because I used to be something, something else, of something serious, and look at me now. What I've overcome, things that I didn't think that I'd be able to get past. But
Mhm.
in remembering one thing that is resonated, and I know you've heard it too, God bring you in the storm. He certainly is going to bring you out of the storm. It's the thing that we got to get is, what are the lessons? What I need to grab from this? What do I need to apply to my life in order to not make the same mistakes and sit in the same puddles and go through the same thing over and over as if I didn't get it the first time? And it doesn't mean that you won't see something similar in your life. It only means, okay, when you see it, are you going to apply what you learned from previous experiences
Yeah.
to be able to get through it? We know school has started in all of our, counties and stuff now. And the one thing that I've seen across the board, students have to adapt to change. Over the summer, there's going to be one or two things that you're going to come back to school to that has changed from when you was in the school previous. The biggest thing that a lot of people look over, Aly, that they don't understand. The biggest thing that we adapt to from year to year is promotion grade. You are
Mhm.
telling you are going to another level. So now you
Mhm.
are understanding it's not just a number, it's an elevation in being able to move to another criteria of knowledge, meaning that you are, gaining knowledge. Think about this. Why do they encourage you to do summer reading? Two things. So one, you don't lose what you gained the
Right.
previous year.
Right.
And number two, you can continue to enhance your mind, your knowledge. And it's like doing summer training and you jogging the mind. You jogging every day because you're not in the regular routine of school. So reading gives us that backdrop that we need to keep our minds fresh and keep ourselves mobile. So it's not so much of a big juggernaut when you come to the you get back in school, be like, oh man,
Right.
I get back up early, I gotta catch the bus, I
Mhm.
be in school, 8 hours a day. If you do those things during the summertime, now boom, you know what I'm saying? You ready to go? No, okay, I'm good. Like it's not so much now. Yeah, it might, it might be the first couple of days because you ain't sleeping in anymore and going to bed late. Well, you still may go to bed late. You just paying for it in the morning, but it's like those little things. I call those little intangibles make a big difference when you in the middle, when you in the break of things. And I know you know this. When your routine is broken, you have to do something in order to keep your routine the same. So you're staying fresh, you're staying renewed, and you're getting ready for the next steps in your journey.
Right. And just like you're talking about, yeah, you got that break for the summer, right? You got time to hang out with your friends. You got time to, if you're old enough, go work and make some money for some school clothes or whatever. You had a little break from, getting up so early, from doing research papers. But like JT said, you had to keep some type of routine so you don't lose what you have. So you got that break. They give you that break, but all they ask you, is to keep reading during the summer, you know, and then as you're preparing to go back to school, to prepare you to get back in that routine, you start going to bed a little bit earlier, a couple of weeks before school starts. That's how my mom used to do it. She'd be like, I don't want to hear nothing on the first day of school. You better start going to bed early. And I was like, okay. But you have to do that. And you know, like JT says, just to keep your mind flowing because you are going to something that a different classes that you've never done before. Even if it's English, it's a different type of English. We're gonna be our focus in this English is different, and so and just Lord, if you're going from like middle school to high school or something like that, I mean that's a whole new world. But
Yeah.
guess what? God has equipped you to be able to to be able to handle it all, to be able to endure it. And just like JT said, even if you're going like with sports, if you're going from the JV team to the varsity team, it's still football. It's still fundamentals, but they play on a different level. They play in different teams. It's a different intensity, I think. And so you just have to prepare yourself. And the first couple of days, you're new to the team and you don't know how the flow is, but you just stay consistent, stay on the team. Don't get, you know, um, upset or disappointed in how things go the first couple of days. Just keep going, right? And then before you know it, it becomes that organic flow.
Every level in this life, you have to appreciate the victory because the victories also prepare you for those times in life where you take a loss, where you may not make the team, or you may get cut from the team.
True.
It's preparations and those things and understanding the both sides of those things that helps you be successful in life. Which leads me to the subject of vacation overload.
All
Talking about
right.
school, talking about the summer, talking about the works and routine. Vacation overload comes in two different phases. Number one, you take so many vacations throughout the year, and your spring breaks, your Easter break. You always on the move. Oh, we out of school or we not there. Boom, we're going somewhere. So by the time you get to back to the fall routine, this and the other, you were so exhausted because you've been traveling. You've been in several different climates, both
Mm,
hot, cold, and all of the above. That your brain is still wired all over the place. You still literally are traveling in the car. And
true.
so that's a whole nother break in the monotony that, will put you in the overload. The second phase to that overload is this. Maybe you didn't get to go anywhere on Easter break, spring break, summer break, because those things are not as affordable as they used to be at a
Amen.
different day and time. So in that respect, your vacation overload becomes I'm overloaded because I'm due a vacation. So in that respect, when we flip it, that is when you get into the mental thing, and that's when you get into the mindset of, okay, I might miss it in these couple of months and may not be able to go anywhere until next year. But in the meantime, as you're building toward what is due to you are developing and you will develop a patience to overcome frustration and to be able to navigate through your journey because you have a goal at the end of that journey. Well, if I go through these couple of months and I know I'm going somewhere when I get through with these couple of months, now you're motivated. That's self-motivated.
Yeah.
Getting yourself in a good place. Mindset mental. Because it's like, hey, I ain't been nowhere in a couple of years. Boom, I'm gone. This applies to all ages because it happens to us in different phases of our life. Because once you're exposed to what that really is, Now it becomes a much needed break. We have a routine in the family, and my boys still talk about this to this day. When we go to the beach, first thing we do, drop the bags, go to the pool. I don't care what time, I don't care what season we in. Because first we plan in the corner, so there's going to be an indoor pool somewhere where we're going. Going to the pool first. Then, you know what I'm saying, we come back, unload, unpack, do whatever. But pool life and being a beach,
Okay.
beach head, it's like you got to have that water life first because you don't have that all the time. And so you appreciate that for what it is. So that's just a routine based thing in my family. Now, each of us have our own little thing that we like to do when we get to going where we going. That helps offset the vacation overload. Going back to what we talked about, routine. If you continue to condition yourself, meaning you don't, it ain't always a physical thing, Alan. Sometimes we're talking about
Mhm.
continuing to condition the mind, meaning that you continue to feed the mind good stuff, think good stuff, exercising all the negative and all the distractions out of your mental. That way you can be and stay in a good space. But all these things we're always working towards in our lives. It's a daily work. It's a thing that we forever going to be working in because I don't know if we ever get satisfied, you know, for someone that's really goal oriented and really trying to achieve above and beyond. I don't think you get satisfied even when you do achieve. You just think about the next set of goals that you want to achieve.
That's true. That's true. And that's a good point. That's a good advice, for somebody once you get there, okay, let's put that vacation vibe, in play first because, sometimes it does start off rocky because you're mad about where the room at, who taking what, why you just carrying one thing, da 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 da, who gonna go park the car across the street, walk across the street. So it can be a lot of stuff. So I like that. That's a good idea, JT. Drop everything. Let's hit the pool. Cause then when you're out the pool, everything is just you just feel better about life anyway. So you're like, okay, I need my clothes, so I'm gonna go get my clothes. So you ain't even arguing about it because I this is what I need. So I think that's cool.
Yeah,
So and then just talking about that, I think that is because I used to hear all the time, the only person that kind of when you're going on vacation don't really get to vacate is mama because mama always gotta make sure everybody pack their stuff, get it in the car. Mom usually was the one that was planning everything, but I think now we are getting to the point where it's like a family thing. Where do you want to go? How should we travel? Because I know we were thinking about doing something this summer, and we were just getting the input from everybody. Okay, how should we get there? We're going by train, or we're going to take different cars. And so I think when it becomes a family event, then it's more family fun because everybody has some input into it. So I think that's a little bit different too these days. And like you said, everybody gets the opportunity to do what they want, but you have to understand I may not want to do that. So if y'all go to the pool and I just want to stay in the room, sweet. Y'all go to the pool. So I just think, again, you have to be open minded. But I too think that sometimes when you're in that place where maybe you don't have the funds to travel or to do stuff, I think sometimes it'll open up your creativity if you allow it. You can plan things at the park. I've seen people even like during COVID, they would like decorate different rooms of their house like it was the beach or like it was Hawaii theme. And just do you have to figure out, okay, because the one thing about it is you don't want to miss out on life. You don't want to miss out on fun. And it's not always about money. There's different ways of having fun and making it happen and doing things to share with your family. Like one the one that I saw where they did the Hawaii theme, like they had different stations, and so the children would learn something about Hawaii, about the volcanoes and stuff like that. So it was fun, it was educational. So I just think too sometimes we have to open up our creativity and let it flow. Maybe your job is not going the way you want it to. Maybe you're not being advanced. So what is God saying to you? Is it time to shift? Is it time to add? a different stream of income? Is it time to figure out what your craft is, your skills and your talents? Because a lot of us have those things that we can make money off on. Like if you love to crochet, you I've seen so many people crochet scarves and the toboggans and stuff for the Christmas season. So you just have to, again, it is a mindset. It is thinking out of the box. It's being creative. It's not always talking about what I don't have, but what do I have.
Be creative and let your mind run free. Let me give you three things that will take you in a whole nother world. Number one, you want to go into another world, go to the library. You go to the library and get lost in nonfiction, fiction, fantasy, the whole 9 yards, depending on what apartment you in.
Yeah.
And if you ain't been there in a while, it will remind you of how you used to go in there and just go into another world. It ain't necessarily got to be a bookworm in order to get the enjoyment out of it. Go in there and let your mind be availably free and watch what happens when you go into that mindset. Number two, visit some of your state and local parks. They are diamonds in the roughs. You go out there and you see some of the setups and some of the setups, your shelter areas, your recreational areas. There are really some nice parks in both North and South Carolina that are just absolutely restful and relaxing. You can go have a picnic, lunch. You can go out there and enjoy some music. Like it's really not what more relaxing than what people give it for you. I mean, you go out there and fish. Walk the nature trails.
Yeah.
This is things that take you in a whole nother mindset. For me personally, there's number three. I'm an organizational type of guy. I am a hat collector. I collect hats, shoes to a degree. I get it. I go into another world just organizing my hats. They're being color coded, team coded, brand coded. It takes me to another place because one, I have a love for them. I always have. I have all different types. So if you grab something that you really have a passion for and take it and just run what you want to do in your mind. Couple that with put on some music. You got a nice playlist in your Spotify, your Apple Music, on your phone. Turn it on and just let your mind run free. Your favorite thing plus some music is instant therapy, instant relaxation. Other thing that I would always advise our audience to do: there's no set time to pray. You can pray at any moment of the day. We had a conversation with God anytime of the day.
Anytime.
It's an experience that is never overrated and always on time. Don't be afraid of that conversation. Have it, speak it, claim it. It's like it is true when they say a closed mouth can't be responded to because you ain't opened your mouth to say no. You have to speak life upon what you want and speak life into the things that you want.
Yep.
God is listening. The olive branch is always there. Just speak upon it. So those are some of the things that when you let your mind be free, no matter what's going on. Let me tell you, the bills are gonna be there. Medical stuff is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Some medicines is gonna be there. They're gonna be there long after we not living and breathing in a whole nother atmosphere. So take heed to something that I learned a long time ago. Why am I gonna worry today when God has equipped me to be able to work it out and he comes right on time, it never ever fails.
Right.
And so I can imagine if I spend any time worrying or stressing, I can imagine God looking at me like, now, here you go. You say one thing, but you're doing something totally different. Now I'm just looking at you like this.
Like, which one do you really want? Do you want the blessing, or you just want me to leave you there to worry? Come on, now choose one.
Yeah. It's amazing. We there are ways to really bring light to things that are serious in this life. If you just take a moment and just allow yourself to breathe, and I know it's easier said than done, but just take a moment and just think about all the goodness, all the things. that you have overcome in this life. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And no matter how bad and ugly, think about the fact that God still showed up and showed out. Even when you couldn't see, even when you didn't know how you was gonna put it on the table, even when you didn't know, when when you was gonna be able to put gas in your tank and when the next time you was gonna get a full tank. How you was able to keep them lights on. How did you get something random in your mail and you didn't even know you had something due?
Right.
Your season is always upon you, whether you realize it or not. And it's called favor. But there's a certain amount of faith that comes along with that.
Amen. And just like JT was saying, I mean, see, he be saying so. I gotta take notes when I'm talking to him. But just like even in the library, I used to go reading a book, and sometimes a books will make you be like, "Ah, I didn't know this was out there in the world. I didn't know that you could, fly kites. I didn't know that you." And so then, that's how, and that just came to mind because I read a book about this little boy flying kites, and I was like, "Mama, do we got kites around here? Can we go to the store and get a kite?" So being in that library reading that book made me want to go out in nature and try this thing that I seen this little boy do in a book. And so definitely the library, places like that. You have, like JT was saying, the parks, and there's local museums. I was riding around my hometown the other day, and I was like, when they get this little museum going on? I said, I want to go here and see what's happening. So they were closed at the time, but look for those small things that don't cost as much money but can really take your mind to another place, take your creativity to another place. Start, you know, you look at stuff and you be like, oh, I can invent something that does this. So because God has no respect of person, just like that person was able to invent, so are you. So, it's just all about, opening your mind and being, just available for God. You know what I'm saying? Pray to Him, ask Him, okay, why did I have this dream? Why do I have this vision? Why do I have this talent? What do you want me to do with it? How do I use it? Who do I connect with? So, praying and doing incorporating all those things, listen, God will always answer. And even like JT said, even when you go to the next level and you like, here we are again. Okay, you might be facing something that's similar, but because you've been through it before, maybe it don't maybe it don't discourage you for as long as it did last time. It don't make you stop this time. You're like, okay, I've had this before, with this outside people's, thoughts, or just the equipment didn't work, whatever it was. But it's okay. I'm gonna keep working on it because I have a vision, and I know that God is well able to help me to complete it. So, yes, sir.
No matter how good you make it look, nobody looks like what they went through. And that's a common thing in this life. Until you or someone reveals some of their story, you don't always see, you can't always tell, you know, what is spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It's a thing in this life that has been adapted to humankind that you got to suppress some things, and we don't always deal with those things up front. I would encourage you, if you having those thoughts, if you having things that you need to speak on and talk about, find you someone to pour into. That'll be that listening ear. And again, we're not gonna run down your throats. We know there's a God up there in heaven that is everlasting, unconditional. But the one thing I also want you to know, God places people in your life for a reason. Pay attention to the ones that have been placed in your life. And it's going to shine out. It's going to come to you. It's going to be a tapping on the shoulder. It's going to be revealed to those and to why your circle is small.
Yeah.
There's only a certain select few. There are many that's going to cross your path, but there's only a certain select few that are going to be there for the lifelong season. All others are those that are just passing through the seasons. It's like we go through the 4 seasons, we have people in our lives that pass through just for a moment, just temporarily.
Yeah.
And they're either going to be your blessing or your lesson. One of the two. They're going to fall in one of those categories. And it's okay because we have to go through the trials and tribulations, stumbling blocks in life in order to understand, appreciate, and be able to be balanced and humble. And in understanding when you gain the things that you're supposed to ultimately have, when you richly are blessed within your spirit the way God intended for it to be, then you understand the narrative of what it means to be rich and not looking at rich in a physical sense, but an understanding that the richness that God blesses you with is one that doesn't require a monetary fee. It is one that requires you only to have a made up faith that is not based on any other individual other than you and the relationship that you have with your God. Meaning that that is a relationship that you strengthen, you create, you pour into, you put into, and you get an understanding of what the expectation is that God has of you. Then only then you have the true understanding of what it is to go on that journey and seek everlasting.
Mhm. Listen, so I think that sets us up real good for JT's song In This Life. So, JT, tell them a little bit about that. And then, Alan, we're going to hear In This Life by poet JT.
And this life was written in a time of upliftment and encouragement. And it was self um, written to know that in this life, they're going to be the good, the bad, and the ugly, like I just spoke of. But there's a silver lining in the cloud that God wants us to see. And so in writing this, you get a good dose of Poet JT in his element as he's venting and yet encouraging the masses to understand in this life, there are going to be storms, they're going to be partly cloudy but sunny days, but you and only you are the sunshine in your life. So let your spirit shine out and be the light that beams off of others and encourages those positivities in life.
Awesome. So, stick with us after the song. We'll be talking more with James JT Thompson. But right now, poet JT, In This Life.
General, sporadic, sometimes chaotic, with explosive moments, this life. The tale of two stories, with a moral of it, with meaning and impact, this life. The facts are as many as the myths that exist along with them. Sunrise brings intrigue, yet fatigue due to the stress and strife of everyday life. This life. Checks with balances still leave lightweight wallets and motion-filled decisions without logic. But this life will hand you a hook with no books, figures in this life. Now, I'm navigating through my emotions, trying to obtain the next level. No tripping or falling. And failure, certainly not an option at all. This life. By any means necessary, and all hands on deck. I refuse to lose in this life. I win, pun intended, and intent meant to ascend and overcome, because I shall not in perfection, but by design, I control the narrative in this life.
How the life coach, man, but they couldn't get right. It's hard to fix my life when your life just ain't right. Well, alright, well, this is life, it's not a movie, okay? You can't be Claude or Ray, you gotta be you every day. And who's to say that life ain't right what God want it to be? Cause if he want it to be, then it'd be different for me. Well, in fact, to think differently, that makes me insane. I'm not a star in the game, I don't be driving in lanes. A shredded cheese, it's the best one, it's against the grain. You call me Monterey Jack, man, I'm doing my thing. I'm often misunderstood cause I'm not moved by man. I understand the plan. There's always prayer at hand. I overstand that the assignment was only given to me. And why they tripping off the dicks is not for you, it's for me. And you remember Jesus went up on the mountain to pray. While everyone else slept away, he was sweating blood out his face. Woo. I can relate. Yeah. That's life, man. And sometimes life gonna have you separate yourself. You know what I'm talking about?
All right. Poet JT featuring Minister T Breeze in This Life. Love it, love it, love it. Congratulations. Listen, y'all go download, listen, because we learned from before. Y'all download from Apple, Spotify, those things that y'all are paying for. Yeah, let's do this thing the right way because everybody has a craft and you want somebody to pay you for your craft. So definitely let's download things proper, do things decent and in order, right, JT?
Yeah, and actually that's a perfect set to elegends.net. My man Dave, the owner and creator of that, just put the content over on there, and you can go purchase it
Sweet.
over there on elegends.net for $1.69. Download the track. The streaming is up great on In This Life right now. And that's another outlet, but an outlet that I can tell you caters more to the artists. I give you the real. It's not a whole lot of money in that thing. You gotta have a whole multi-million dollars of streams in order to get it. But elegends.net give it to you correctly and right, and is created by us and owned by us. So please, you get an opportunity, go over to elegends.net and check out all the content. Over there, you got some dope artists. Myself, Minister T Breeze, big shout out to him for jumping on In This Life with me. Got a lot of great content over there that you can find of artists that's over there that's putting in the work, and it's there for you. And it's only growing in content and everything. So big shout out to my man Dave at elegends.net. Elegends.net. Elegends with a Z.net. Check it out. Check out the content. You mentioned the Queen City Awards. Nominations are open now. Go to queencityawards.com. queencityawards.com. Nominate your favorite people in the categories that you see. And I think voting is now until I think the second week of September. I don't have a date. I think it's September the 10th. Voting is up for that. And speaking of Me in This Life, you reminded me that nominations are for the South Carolina Underground Music Awards are up and running until September the 1st. And you can go to the South Carolina Underground Music Awards.com and nominate In This Life for Song of the Year. We got a couple of people informing that they've been over, and voting ends on that website September the 1st at noon. So get opportunity within the next 2 weeks. Please go over to South Carolina Underground Music Awards.com and nominate your favorite artists, especially for Song of the Year. I'll nominate Poet JT featuring Minister T Breeze In This Life for Song of the Year.
Yes. And, I'll make sure I get all of those links from JT and we'll put them in the description of the video just in case you forget, which side is what, and try to find those deadlines and stuff like that. But don't wait till the end. Just go ahead and do it now. Do it today. And then share with your friends and ask them to do it today. Listen, because, we need as much encouragement, as much, praise as we can get. I mean, we know that sometimes we have to do it without that stuff, right? We have to keep going. Sometimes it doesn't come our way. But as many times as we can uplift somebody, as we can, congratulate an artist, nominate, let's do it because it's not easy out here. And like JT and the different artists we've had on the show, it's so many streams you need to get to be able to get a little bit of money. So let's at least praise them. Let's at least be listening to what they're doing and sharing it with our friends and family, right?
That's right. It's meaningful, appreciated. Everybody takes time out to go listen to her music, download, buy. Very much appreciative. I know I am because I take everyone because I love music, so I listen to multiple genres of music, and I'm very appreciative for those that take the time out to listen to any track that I have, and I got 6 of them in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Anybody that's ever listened to anything that I've ever created, I really appreciate it, and I would not be remiss not to mention in both the South Carolina Underground Music Awards and QueenCityAwards.com. There is a there is a podcast category for each. And I can tell you that Making Connections with Aly has been one that's been receiving votes. So be so kind, ma'am, and sir. Please go on over to those particular places and cast your nomination for Making
Yeah.
Connections TV with Aly.
That was, yeah, I'm looking forward to us getting an award one day. I'll be calling it into the atmosphere. I don't get mad about the people who win above me. I just know they're making a way, right? I don't get mad. Listen, because everybody's put their time. I know what I put my time in, so I know they have too. So I applaud everybody, who is doing great things. And so that's what we're about. We're about making connections. We're about letting people know what's happening because sometimes there's so many people I know personally who feel like there's more out there in life, but where is it? How do you get to it? How do you attain it? How do even when you find a piece of joy that you hold on to it because here life comes right behind it and kind of knocks it out of your hand. Like when you're in the football game and you caught the ball and you touched your hand, but you fumbled and it fell on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Life happens like that, but they keep playing the game. They don't stop the game and just sit down and cry and be like, I knew I shouldn't have been a quarterback. No, okay, we lost at that time. The clock is still running. Let's get back in this huddle. What's our next play? So you got to always in life. Okay, what's the next play? What's the next move? Okay, I got my playbook. These plays ain't going for me. I was listening to something the other day, and I think they were talking about trading, and the man was saying that when he's talking to his clients, he's like, well, let's see what trades are working for you and which ones aren't. So he said, sometimes it's just simple. The stuff that's not working for you, stop doing it. He said, let's work on the things that you're really good at, the things that's making you money, instead of spending a lot of time trying to fix this piece right now. We'll circle around back to it, after we've, been in the game for a while, but let's keep doing this. Focus on this instead of what's again not working. So you got to keep that playbook, keep that eraser, keep writing, keep hubbling up. What's the next move, right?
Biggest thing you said, you know the work you putting in. You understand what it took to get the way you are. I look at nominations like this. I'm humble and thankful. A nomination to me is big to me because somebody took the time out, say, hey, you doing great. This and the other. I'm good with it. I don't get caught up in the hype, but I'm thankful for those that thought enough to cast a vote. And winning Author of the Year Queen City Award last year was the cherry on top because I looked at it like, hey, you know what? It had several years knocking on the door, and this year the door opened.
Yeah.
But I always see myself as a winner. I see us as a winner. See yourself as a winner. Understand you already won because you achieved what you set out to do. You've achieved in writing. You achieved in making music. You achieved in creating dope programming. Those things are wings. Those things are above and beyond what the mind could ever have imagined. So when you're able to look at it from that scope, everything else is just extra. It's on top. You shouldn't get caught up in those things if your mental is where it's supposed to be, because you're not defined by those things. You know what I'm saying? Go back to the basic elements in this life. You're defined richly by what is embedded in your spirit, how you are as a person, what your personality is, how you carry yourself. It's not defined by accolades. But the one thing I tell myself, I can't take none of these things with me.
Right.
So why get caught up in them when they're not a part of my eternal rest and my eternal life? It's only temporary and it's only here in this life, unintended, that it exists. Because when you cross over, it's God is looking for you for who you are, how you carry yourself. And that's will always be bigger than anything, any actor.
Yes. Because I feel like the ones that mean the most mean are the ones you put your time into. Those are the ones that you're like, this is it. But like you said, just getting a nomination or whatever, it's just like somebody sees you and it makes you feel good about what you're doing. But we also have to see others. It can't always be about us, but we have to be a team player. And we're this whole team of life, right?
That's
Um,
it.
so we gotta play on this field together. We gotta condition together. We gotta be able to, like, if JT is down one day, I gotta be able to step up to the plate and be like, okay, I got you. You rest. You take it. You on vacation overload. So you go ahead and you do what you need to do. I got you. So it really is, and I'm learning more and more because I've said it on here before. I was down with Tina Turner's "What's Love Got to Do with It." I felt like I was an island and I wasn't leaning on nobody else to get me across the water because I didn't know. Then I had to realize, sometimes I would get in that water and I get tired. And I was like, I need some help to get across. And so I had to realize God gave me a whole big world. It's not for everybody. Everybody's not on the team or what have you, but I had to be open to the people that he was sending for the team, So,
That's it. That's life. That's life right there, Allie. Those words are gems of wisdom and understanding that theoretically what that really means. That's that's fundamentally what life is all about.
yeah, yep. So our time is running out, but I want you to tell us about your help at, gosh, I always say it wrong because there's like two different organizations I'm thinking about. No more, take it
Oh,
away.
sad story. No sad stories ministries. Cry to get out is I'm a board member for that nonprofit. It's basically is helping people that's in domestic situations or living with HIV. Is centered and based off of the CEO, Miss Valerie Watkins, and it's turning her trauma into triumph. My mother was diagnosed with AIDS and lost that battle. She turned that into motivation to create an avenue in the system to be able to help others. She had a goddaughter that she was helping to get out of a domestic situation, and unfortunately, the person found them and murdered them.
Mm,
And again, turning something that's so traumatizing into a nonprofit to be able to help other people in these
yeah.
situations. Very honored and esteemed to be a part of that organization and being able. We have a thing coming up in um, October the 15th, I believe. You'll be getting more information. The flights coming forthcoming. There's actually going to be a weekend of a free concert that Saturday and big event that Sunday. You'll be seeing that advertisement here on Make Connections TV. But again, very honored to be a part of that organization, one of the few that I'm part of, but have a passion for it. More information coming though. No sad story. Ministry, cry to get out. More information coming up soon. Have another, my last popcorn, open popcorn, double good popcorn will be open September the 1st, September the 4th. You'll get an online link for that. Um, I just say it's for a good cause. I've got it myself. It was more about pouring into the cause than the popcorn. If you just want to make a donation,
Right.
you just hit me up on my Cash App, and it'll go towards the overall funding for the year for the straight to the nonprofit.
Awesome. See, kudos, because we're out here, we're trying to connect with people. And I am learning the value of this platform. It took me a minute. But I was growing up. I was immature. Now I am maturing. I ain't even gonna say matured yet. I am still maturing, but I definitely want to use this platform to let people know of the opportunities that are out there. It could be the opportunity to provide help. Like you need help from the organization, but maybe you have resources that the organization needs. So as you find out more about organizations and things that they're doing in the community, you might want to jump in and help out and support. So, because every one of these organizations need help, they need volunteers, they need people sharing their content, just bringing awareness to what's going on. I like those commercials on TV where it would talk maybe like about sign language or something like that. And I can't remember what the other one was, but it was about bringing awareness to people who are deaf. Bringing awareness to the different ways that we have to communicate, and sometimes it's a little bit more difficult for somebody to communicate. So we have to be patient and figure out, okay, how can I communicate with this person in the best way? So it's just so much. Life is a learning journey and an experience. And I feel like the more you learn, the more you are aware of things, the better life can be, right?
That's it. His life is always a learn. I'll tell myself I'm gonna forever be a learner and a sponge and embracing all the knowledge that I can soak up. In this big brain, I'm gonna always say big because it's gonna have room to soak it all up.
Right.
And I'm gonna always be a student to what we call this life and learning and absorbing as much knowledge as possible in order to get through. I can tell y'all, it's a treat to be on this platform, but I can tell you even more of a treat for the content that we have coming and the content that's going to be upcoming. You ain't seen nothing yet. We're on the backside of 2023, but what I can tell you, don't miss an episode, whether it's Monday or Saturday, whether it's Saturday at noon or whether it's Monday at 2 p.m. Do not miss an episode of Making Connections TV with Aly because every episode is dope.
Yeah. Yep, every person that comes on has a word for somebody, and they're just talking about their journey. So they're telling you how they messed up. Sometimes they're telling you how they stopped because of what people said. They telling you. But guess what? I had to wake up and I had to realize I got things going on. God has gifted me with skills and talents. And I was reading something, I was studying something the other day. I think it was from First Corinthians. I don't remember, but the breakdown was like God has given each one of us skills or talents, every one of us. And so ours might look different from yours. And I say, and I don't mean to simplify, but you could be somebody who bakes goodies. Everybody needs baked goods. Baked goods make people feel happy. People, when they're sick, they love to see somebody come through the door with flowers and some cookies. People like, you could be a florist and I don't know nothing about flowers. I can't keep them alive. But these people that have these beautiful green thumbs and they grow these flowers and they're able to put those bases, it's such a, I mean, I always get such a smile when I get flowers. Listen, it ain't happened in a while. Just putting it out there. No. But when I get flowers, they're so pretty. The colors, the smell. You know, give somebody in your life flowers. Give them their flowers now. Don't wait till they're dead. Give them their flowers now. Tell them what they mean to you now. Appreciate and say thank you now. All of these things, we are in the now. Do it in the now, right? We can't keep putting it off. We can't keep waiting. Do it now. Go
That's
ahead.
it. That's it. Nah, you hit the nail on the head. Get the flowers now. I can smell it, breathe it, all of it. Please do, because there's no day and time that we don't know. So now is the time to do that. It's like I'm gonna give the flowers the information now. If you want to reach out to me, bigbooradio.com. JT at Big Woo Radio is the email. .com on that. Officially, reach out to me. I don't care what it is. I just want to say how you doing. You're doing a great job, whatever. Do that. BigWooRadio.com is where all the episodes exist. For things, follow all my social media pages. James S. Thompson keeps it simple on Facebook, and JT underscore Big Woo Radio on IG. at JT at JST Productions. Say that three times. At on Twitter, or what is the black symbol now? Elon Musk changed it up. But just follow us. Not hard to find. We Googleable. Do that too. And big shout out to all my people in York, South Carolina that rocked out with me at Summerfest. And
Yeah.
amazing. God bless each and every one of you. And big shout out to my youngest son, who turned 19 this past Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
Daddy.
Happy belated birthday. Yeah, so listen, JT is here every fourth Monday. What are you get coming up with these things? Every fourth Monday at 2 p.m. We know that Edgar is with us every fourth Saturday. We do a food show review now. Sometimes it's different restaurants, sometimes it's a specific, item like barbecue. He's done that. And then sometimes he just comes with a plethora of resources on, in your different communities, you should be able to go to these types of links if you're in need of food, or, if you want to support somebody or a soup kitchen or something. So make sure you tune in. And then, like you said, the other weeks, you never know what we're going to have: an author, an artist, a therapist, a coach, money mindset. We talking about it all because it's all part of life, right? So again, we are here every Saturday at 12 noon, every Monday at 2 p.m. And don't forget the replays on Thursday at 7 p.m. because we got so much good content. We're trying to replay some stuff. And because listen, domestic violence, all those type of things, we've had people who come on, and like JT says, you don't know their story. You might see the glory, but and you be like, you went through domestic violence, you went through sexual assault, you went through whatever, and they're like, yeah, and they're like, you're in the community, you're helping people, you're out there. Listen, they have an assignment, just like we have an assignment, so do you. So listen, stay in there, figure out what your assignment is, and let's do the work. All right. Any last things before we go, JT?
Just everybody embrace this life for what it is. Stay blessed, stay prayed up, and understand. Treat people as you want to be treated. God bless each and every one of you. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Continue to
Yeah.
support us. Go to the Facebook page, like us, making connections with Aly TV. Make connections TV with Aly. Go support us. It's on Facebook, y'all. Like them likes, follow us. All on all.
Yes. Facebook,
Yes,
IG.
content, everything.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Facebook, IG, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're still on our journey to 1,000 followers. So we want to get that done by the end of September. We can do it in August, that's cool, but by the end of September. And again, I say that not because we just want the likes, but the more it's about the algorithm. You got to learn the algorithms, and it's about the algorithms on Facebook and who they present our content to. It's such good content. I want more people to be able to experience and to be blessed and to be encouraged. So that's why I'm pushing for the 1,000 followers. So, you know, if you haven't followed us yet, go follow and invite a friend along the way. But we love and appreciate everything you've done for us so far. And until next time, as always, we're leaving you with love, positivity, and good vibes. Have a good day, everybody. Talk to you later, JT.
Peace, Aly.